Look at that. Look at that moon. It really doesn't look good on here, but it's a beautiful view. Welcome back, future Matt and whoever else is watching these videos. Yesterday when I stopped filming, turned my video camera / phone off, I dropped the phone and I had the little dongle for my microphone plugged into it and it broke. It snapped right off, so I have no microphone today. It's completely broken. Apparently also irreplaceable because it was super cheap. Honestly, looking at those videos today, it seems like the quality of that mic is real dog shit anyway. So the only reason I was using that was because someone said that my voice was too quiet. So I'm gonna just try to talk louder, I guess. Maybe at some point in the future or I'll get another microphone, but doesn't seem worth it right now. Got a lot done today. It was a good day. Woke up, hit the gym, ate a nice clean diet, did not touch any social media. I'm on a roll, boys. And I got a lot of stuff done, actually. First of all, it just reminds me now. Never mind. I've been mentioning how I've been going back and forth with this calligrapher to come up with a new logo for my company. So I'm gonna show you guys here actually what I've been talking about. So I had this original, actually I'm gonna show you all the different ones, one sec. So let's take a look here. Radio business, media, logo. Right, so this is my OG, the one I've currently been using that I got off of Fiverr. You see, it's like, I don't know, it's a little cartoony. A little kind of fancy-ish. I don't know how to describe it, but it's not my style. It's not my vibe. So then, this is the new AI generated one. I haven't actually used it yet, but this is the one I've been using as an example for my calligrapher. I like it because it looks bad, you know? It's not terrible. It's got a bit of fanciness to it, but it feels like a real raw signature. It's kind of impressive in that way. Although the more I've been looking at it, the more I feel like maybe it's slightly too bad. I don't know. Part of why I like it so much is because it reminds me of my own handwriting. I feel like this is more or less, well, actually no, my real handwriting would be even worse than this, but but it's in that vein, and so I like that. And then the newest one that the calligrapher sent me, I mean, he sent me a whole bunch of them, but he sent me this one today, and I was pretty happy with this. Let's see if I can pull these up side by side, maybe. So you get some paint.net open. Okay. Excuse me. Why did this? Okay, I downloaded the desktop or something. All right, so this was, he sent me a whole bunch of versions now, but this was my favorite so far. So it's getting there. I feel like this is now almost basically just a slightly cleaner, fancier version of the AI one. And now I'm not so sure. Before I was really loving the AI one. I was thinking like maybe I'll just end up going with that, but I don't know, I'm kind of liking this one now. We'll see. But he also suggested today, since I told him I really like this one, I sent him an email back asking for a few variations on this to see if maybe there's something that's even just a little bit more to my taste. But he also suggested, because I wanted something very raw and natural looking, that he could try doing it by hand, because I guess he's been doing this digitally so far, that he can do a handwritten one and then scan it instead and see if that gets me more of the texture that I was looking for. So we'll see what comes out, but I think it's heading in the right direction now, so it's looking good. So that's that. While I'm here, actually, let me show you also all these submissions. So I went through a whole list of like 150 potential festivals that I could enter my game into today, and I found a good, I think, dozen or so of them that I managed to submit my game to that seemed like it was a good candidate for. A lot of them seem like they're not very big. I don't know how much of a difference it'll make, but it'd be cool. Maybe get a little extra exposure that way. That took quite a bit of time. It was very annoying because for many of the entry forms, they ask you to upload some kind of screenshot, some kind of key art, whatever. And I swear to God, every single one of these forms had different dimensions for what they wanted for the images. So I had to keep going back into all my press kit stuff and keep modifying dimensions of images to fit all of their requirements. So anyway, got that done though. I was happy with that. Put down a list for 2026 to take a look at them again, because there was a few that I found also that seemed like really good matches for my game, but which had already closed their submissions and their festivals were already running, so missed out on a few. Let's see, what else? I have slowly begun my work on this new promotional style I'm going for. After doing some more research, it would seem that the ideal for a lot of social media stuff is really quantity over quality when it comes to this promotional stuff. So I was thinking about how when I first started working on this game, I actually had this crazy idea of being really ridiculous with the marketing, and I actually stuck to it for many months, where I literally was posting every single day on different sites and every week making my YouTube video and then posting a short. So that was okay, and I did find a decent amount of growth from doing that. However, I think I did it inefficiently because I didn't think too much about what I was doing. It was kind of just randomly taking clips of stuff I'd worked on and then posting it. And people aren't too interested in that. And I mainly did the daily thing on Twitter, and it is really hard to have any reach on there. So that didn't go very well. But what I realize now, thanks to almost 2 years of doing this and experimenting with a lot of different types of videos and content, I have some better idea of what kind of stuff has a chance of working well. I also have this new idea that I'm testing out of a more natural spoken format, kind of like what I'm doing right here, right now, but in super short form, like the 15-second TikTok style. And what I was thinking is, so far, my best platforms by far have been YouTube, Reddit, and TikTok. So what I was thinking is to try to hit that like 3 TikToks a day style of doing promotion. I have this idea that I think if I'm just thinking about it throughout the day as I'm working on the game, as funny ideas pop into my head, because it honestly happens to me all the time. If I just whip out my phone and do these quick little like 15-second funny clips and just pump out 2, 3, 4 every single day, could work. Could be a new strategy. And after all, originally, that was my intention. I wanted to do a really aggressive promotional campaign like that, but I let up on it. Plus, I had no idea what I was doing originally. And so, yeah, now that I have a much clearer idea of how this all works, I think I could make something happen there. So I'm slowly starting to work on that. I posted just one video tonight on TikTok, and it did terribly. But I think it did terribly because it got basically shown to no one. And sometimes the algorithm there on TikTok is very finicky. Sometimes it just like straight up doesn't show your, I mean, all the algorithms are like this. Sometimes it just straight doesn't show your video to people for some reason. And then other times some random shit blows up for some reason. I think in this case, I made a joke where I swore a couple times and the video is only like 15 seconds. And so unfortunately, a lot of videos get pushed down, and especially if you don't have a super popular account. if you do something like that. So I think for that reason, the video only got like, I don't know, not even 100 views, I think, which on TikTok is horrible. Like 100 views is on YouTube. It's not good, but it's like something. But TikTok 100 views is like absolutely horrible because it's specifically short format. But that's okay. I'm not discouraged. I realize I'm just gonna have to find some balance between. I guess it's finding a balance between forcing myself to be more creative. It's tricky because sometimes you write a joke and it just needs that swear word in there. And if you take it out and you try to soften it, it's just not the same. It's not as funny. It becomes even kind of lame. So I think I'm going to have to be forced to be creative and partly play the algorithm game and I guess not try to go too far with my humor. Yeah, I don't know. Supposedly, you can get away with it if your video is long enough and as long as it's not in the first 30 seconds or so. So we'll see. I'm going to try doing another video. I've written a script here for a longer one that I'm actually storyboarding everything. I'm going to put more editing effort into just to see how that does. And I'm going to try to... yeah, I'm gonna try and see whether or not there's like a slightly racy joke in this one, but it's not too bad. So I'm gonna try this out, see how it goes, and if it also does really unusually terribly like this last one did, then I'll try to make a more like PG version of it and see how that does. But otherwise, yeah. I think I have the motivation to do this. I've got the discipline, so I'm looking forward to trying out this thing where I just try pumping out lots and lots of short content every single day, and maybe even get back to posting the daily stuff on Twitter as well, based on work that I actually got done on the game. And then still do the once a week, slightly more edited ones, and of course the YouTube videos once in a while. And we'll see how it goes. I think if I combine all of this together, it should work. And now that I have more focus and I know how to script these videos and how to do them, I think I can do it. I mean, I had some promising results recently. I had the two YouTube shorts, the last ones I posted, both did like 30-something thousand views each, which is by far the biggest that I've had of anything so far. So I have something there to iterate on. Those are a little trickier because it's kind of like something really specific that I had an idea for, and that's harder to come up with. But yeah, I don't know. Hopefully this TikTok stuff does well, and if it does, then I can pass that over to shorts as well, and we'll see. It's a tough game out there. It does still make me think about I don't want to say why I haven't blown up, because I think I know I've been too inconsistent. I think I'm inconsistent. My production values aren't always consistent either. Just in general, kind of inconsistent in my videos. And I did a lot of experimentation. And yeah, I don't know. And I think I'm still getting better at trying to sit down and put myself in the shoes of random average viewer and what will hit well with them and what won't, and learning to focus on that rather than focusing more on just what I find funny. I still want to keep my personal style in there, but I think I have to tame it a little bit for it to work well. But I can feel it. I know it's there. I just need that little extra something, man. But I know I can do it. Might be arrogant to say, but I think I'm not crazy when I look at other YouTubers and TikTokers and whatever. There's just so many people I see, man, who like, honestly, dude, I'm like, yo, I'm funnier than these people. There's so many accounts of people I see, and I'm just like, yeah, these people are fucking lame, man. I'm like so much better than them, and they have like 1 million views and stuff. I'm like, what is this? Come on. I just gotta find my stride, you know? I can do better. Yeah. Man, that moon really is beautiful. I cannot overstate the importance of sleep. I think sleep for me is my number one. I remember not too long ago I saw a video from that his name is Brian something, and it's this rich dude who's been using his body as a science experiment to try to figure out how to live as long as possible. You've probably seen him somewhere for anyone watching this video. I don't know, he looks kind of weird at this point, but he does like crazy shit. He was doing like blood transfusions with his younger son or some crazy shit like that. Anyway, I figured if anyone knows something about trying to be more youthful, it would be him, or more healthy. And he did make a video where he said that based on everything he's done so far, he feels like the single most underrated important thing is getting good sleep. And I've read before that even for professional athletes like LeBron James, that his sleep is like his number one thing. He's got a sleep pod that he sleeps like 10 hours a day if he can and stuff like that. And I think it makes sense. If there's one single thing that makes the most drastic difference in my sense of mood and well-being, and especially just the kinds of thoughts running through my head throughout the day and my energy levels, it would definitely be my sleep. Like last night, I mean, I got a lot of good stuff done today, but last night I went to bed really late again and screwed my stuff up. Tonight's gonna be better, faux show. but yeah, I got a lot done today, but it's just like, for example, like 8 o'clock hits around. I mean, even the way I'm talking right now, you know, my brain's just not as fast. Yesterday there was a smoothness to my ability to speak and think through about what I was gonna say, and now I'm all like, because I'm super tired now. But you can still get stuff done, but without some good sleep, it's so much more brutal to try to power through it throughout the day. Especially around 8 p.m. I crash so hard around 8 o'clock. And I've looked that up before because I've had that problem for a while, and apparently it's usually something that affects old people. And it specifically happens when your sleep schedule is kind of messed up like that. But hopefully I'll fix that up soon. Real soon. Tonight, tomorrow night. It's already 12:30, so it's not going to be good per se tonight, but it'll be better. Won't be 4 in the morning like it was yesterday. And also, another problem was I was watching fucking TikToks all night last night, so I think that also messes with my brain and my ability to fall asleep. So not doing that should be enormously helpful as well. And shit. I don't know, man. Apologies for this long pause. I'm just thinking about. I went for a walk today, and it was really nice. The weather was beautiful. It's nice just sitting outside and people watching and sitting by some trees and everything. I think I had some kind of point I wanted to make, but I don't remember what it was. My mind's been pretty blank today, actually. But yeah, I don't know. I don't really have anything else to say. Gonna make this video tomorrow, and then by Sunday I should be back on working on the full version of the game. And then I will certainly have more to talk about. Hell, maybe I'll even get to it tomorrow. I mean, all I gotta do is make this video, which shouldn't take the whole day, probably. I have been thinking of, or I have been noticing a lot of thoughts popping into my head about being desperate for connection with other people, I think is how I would put it. I I don't really want to go into too much personal detail, but I think a lot about trying to, or wanting to reconnect with some people that I know I shouldn't, and that I only want to because I'm feeling lonely. But my whole goal here is to become comfortable with being alone, so that when I go out to make new friends and meet new people, it's not coming from a place of desperation, but from a desire to find people that I actually connect with. Because when I first moved to Montreal and I didn't know anyone and I first started meeting people, I think that was a mistake I made. I felt really lonely, and I think that it made me somewhat desperate in just trying to find anyone to be friends with. And by doing so, it stopped me from completely being myself, and it stopped me from putting myself in a position where I would be happy and where I would be getting myself involved with or meeting the kinds of people that I was really looking for. So this time around, I want to learn from that mistake. And when I have these off days, which I've noticed, again, the sleep thing, when I have a good night's sleep, man, this stuff doesn't bother me at all. I'm on top of the world and I'm very happy. And I was feeling good today, sitting around in the park outside on my own as well. It's very nice. It's very calming, very meditative, contemplative, but rejuvenating, I would even say. But yeah, when I have an off day, when my sleep is bad, when things aren't going my way, I get that feeling of like, gotta latch on to something. And whether it's other people or bad habits, it's always out of desperation, and that's never good. Always make sure you're doing stuff from a place of security and genuine desire, as opposed to out of fear and insecurity and desperation. I think that's what I've been swinging between. I had all my bad habits that I use as my coping mechanisms, like the nonstop need to have something happening, watching a YouTube video, looking at social media, listening to music, like to block out the thoughts. And then when I stop doing that, and I'm living very cleanly, then instead I start hearing my thoughts, and the thoughts are fear of spending too much time alone, or being insecure, or whatever, all these different dark thoughts swimming in my head. But which I overwhelmingly notice really does come from just like when I sit down and really more deeply analyze those thoughts, there's an illusory nature to them, almost like clouds, and when you poke at them, they evaporate, if that makes sense. Like I have this fear that I have some fear of loneliness, or I have some fear of what if this doesn't work out? What if that doesn't work out? What if I screwed this up? Did I make a mistake when I did that back then? But I notice if I sit down and really think deeply about it, these aren't really problems. I don't have regrets about these things. I'm not actually afraid of these things. I'm just genuinely in a shitty mood, and I think that just causes these thoughts to manifest themselves. Like it's just a perpetual anxiety, and it ends up creating itself, but it's all really an illusion. And if I can take better care of myself, but also more deeply analyze these thoughts and learn to calm my mind, it's not such a big problem anymore. I have to be careful to like make a conscious effort to defeat those negative thoughts, to poke those holes in them, and to bring in more positive thoughts. I noticed today that I was in general thinking less negatively and making that effort to interrogate those negative thoughts. And that once I did so, I noticed I didn't feel as cynical or angry towards other things. I also noticed not being as critical of myself in general also helped me feel better. And I think when you find yourself in a difficult position like this, you have to some degree, make a conscious effort to bring your mind back into that better place, as opposed to waiting for it to somehow happen spontaneously. I think that makes sense. When I think about the time in my life when I had the absolute best outlook on everything, and I just had this maximum, almost heavenly like level of goodwill towards the world, if you will. I think the defining trait of my mind at that time was this constant effort on the part of my mind to be thinking about the goodness of life, if you will, for lack of a better way of putting it, of being so fixated on the good and being able to interpret even the bad things as being good. And my mind was so wholly enveloped in that way of thinking that it creates a kind of reinforcing effect. But over time, perhaps through isolation, maybe smoking too much weed, too much sitting around, doing stupid, self-destructive things, it led my mind astray. And then maybe over the past few years, I dealt with particularly difficult things that I had been avoiding my whole life. And I wasn't quite prepared for how difficult that would be to deal with. And I thought I had dealt with it, but I think I underestimated how long, how persistent that effect would be on me. And so it snuck up on me. It's like I didn't even notice how I thought I had gone so far that I didn't even notice when it came back and overtook me, and I found myself falling back into the same place I was so many years ago mentally. And now, in some sense, it's like I'm back to where I was a few years ago, in the middle of confronting all these dark things within myself. But now I have an even deeper understanding of it, a better understanding of myself, and a wiser means by which to approach these issues. But it's going to require an enormous amount of consistency and discipline, because I'm quite deep in the hole here. But yeah, it's all good. I got this. No big deal. Whatever. I see the hope. I see the hope. And while I've said this to myself a billion times before and written it in my journal a million times before, I think I am entering into a new era for myself. It's going to take a lot of strength to get through this little transformation or whatever it is exactly, though. All right. I think that's it. I'll probably end up sitting here all night getting more ideas popping in my head if I don't stop now. All right. So good shit, Matt. Keep it up, bro.